What's going on, everybody? It's Rod with POW Group. Today is August 5th, and we're going to dive into Q1 2026 earnings projections. We'll do the earnings prep like we normally do. We'll look at the revenue and the EPS forecast and the analyst estimates and overall consensus of Wall Street. So we'll have the numbers going into it. We'll also take a quick peek at the chart toward the end. There is a couple bearish formations that I want to go over, so we'll dive into that at the end. But as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And you can like, share, all that good stuff. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos. Over on X as well, formerly Twitter, handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And I do own a little bit of Aurora in my portfolio. It's not a huge position, just full transparency. And we did have a POW algo alert that went off, and I just did a video on Green Thumb's earnings, doing an earnings prep there, and they actually had the opposite happen. It was a bullish triple thunder crossover, which in these POW algo alerts, that's when three major conditions occur. And basically it's three main technical patterns that I watch. And when all three of them line up simultaneously, we get the alert. And the bearish just means it's a sell signal, and bullish just means it's a buy signal. And GTBIF, so Green Thumb had a buy one, and it was up from like $5, way over $7. And then ACB over the last couple of weeks, it's been really struggling. So we'll take a look at the chart in just a moment. But I want to mention as well, on the topic of the algo service, there's going to be a 50% off sale for the next 48 hours, flash sale. You can get 50% off the annual POW algo alerts. And like I said, you get access to it. And you can go here, I can just click on, this is the full group, and all the email alerts get sent out directly to your email or in the POW Group private community, or both, depending on how you have it set up. So you can take advantage of that. There'll be links for it in the description and in the comment section, and you can just go directly to my YouTube page as well, and then go over here to posts, and it'll show there. And there's a link directly below that. So you can take advantage while that's still available. Aurora to host their first quarter 2026 investor conference call tomorrow, and that's going to be in the morning. So you're going to have the earnings come out just before, right around 8 a.m., and that's going to be Eastern time. I won't be live streaming this one, unfortunately, folks. This is 6 a.m. my time, Mountain time, so I'm probably not going to be able to live stream this at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I got to get my daughter ready for daycare and everything, so can't see that happening, and pretty early here on the West Coast. But they'll be discussing their Q1 2026 financial results at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Might have to try to catch the replay, and if you do tune into that, let me know in the comments what was your biggest takeaway from the call. So we're going to be watching Aurora and Green Thumb for both of their earnings coming out tomorrow. That's going to be the big ones. I had to do a little bit of conversion here. If you take a look at investing.com, the only projections they had were on the US side. So I had to take 70.33 million and positive 0.089 for the EPS, and then just can do the best conversion I could with xe.com. And then I added them up with Aurora's Canadian side at 96.34 million, and the earnings estimate for EPS was positive 0.162. So they were expecting a big jump up there. And then if you take a look at Moomoo, this is based on 4 analysts, revenue 96.825 million. So they're all pretty much in line. And then EPS negative 0.02. So those were, and that was based on one analyst though. But nonetheless, that was still in the negative there. So I went ahead and added them all up, and then got an average. So for revenue, we're expecting 96.68 million Canadian, and for EPS, we're expecting positive 0.087. So those will be the numbers to watch for. If we see a big beat of those, price reaction will probably be favoring bullish, or the opposite if they're bad. So we'll take a look at the chart here. I wanted to mention, like, if you look at Green Thumb chart here, GTBIF, you've just been seeing a lot of the opposite action lately. Over the last 2 weeks, Green Thumb from the low to the high of this week, it's up 40%. And ACB from last week to this week, we're down 5%. But at one point there, from the high of the previous week, we're down 15%. So we just haven't seen, we might start to catch up here. So we'll see what happens if we get any wake of, any kind of signs pointing to more towards rescheduling, if we get a date, or Trump comes out and says anything. We get some sort of, I don't even know if he uses Twitter anymore, or whatever, True Social, whatever it is, and we get a big bombshell that they're going forward with, like if they're going to make a push on it. Again, I think they're going to get the market structure bill done, Clarity Act for crypto, and then I think they're going to really start to hone in on cannabis. So we'll just take it for what it is. But yeah, we had the bearish triple thunder crossover was right here. We lost the 10-week moving average in price, and then the MACD and the stochastic both crossed bearish on the weekly. That's when that alert fired off, and we saw quite a bit of downside after. And then, like I said, it was the opposite on GTBIF, where we had a bullish triple thunder crossover back in July. I think it was July 9th. And then the price continued to rise dramatically after that. So we've been seeing the U.S. names definitely, comparatively speaking to ACB, they've been much more stronger lately. So see if ACB can play catch up. It's really just bumping its head right now at two very major resistances. You can see here the 50 and the 100 weekly. So the weekly moving averages, it's even more of a barrier to get by, right? And since there's two of them, that makes it very, very strong resistance. So if we can get two, preferably three candle closes over those over the next few weeks, we have runway till about $13 here, and I think that this could more than likely be some sort of news catalyst where, like I said, we find out that rescheduling is going through and it's going to happen, or at least like a very high probability, like 90-95% chance it's getting done. So nothing's ever guaranteed until it's done. But if there's a very, very high level of conviction and probability, then we might, see a big pump and maybe, well, probably a dump because it's cannabis right after. But we could easily see a vertical move here with basically no resistance there on the weekly. And if we were at $5 or above, we would be above all of our daily moving averages and have no nearby resistances there. So we would be set for price to just explode and do some sort of massive pump and dump, more than likely, where we skyrocket up to like 10 or 12 bucks, and then on the news that rescheduling is happening, and then it comes back down to like 6, right? That's typical, and then it continues higher from there. But that's typical. Well, it's really just typical finance world, really, but especially very common in something we're used to in the MJ space. But yeah, we also have a death cross that's forming here on the daily time frame as well. I forgot about that slightly, and I just remembered you can see we're getting very close, dangerously close, with the 50-day moving average approaching the 200-day moving average. And when that happens in reverse, it's a golden cross. And you can see here the last time it happened when the 50 crossed the 200, it was downfall. So hopefully this time we have a little bit more cushion due to the fact that we just had a death cross and tons of downside. So I would say that this one might be a little bit more shorter lived, and we could potentially find some support there. We got a lot of support there around at 380. So that's what, if we see a bearish reaction, I can't see us dropping much further than 380. It'd have to be a real bombshell and negative reaction and some sort of surprise in the news, or who knows, maybe they announce something, but I'm not expecting anything too crazy. We'll be seeing, they had a couple quarters ago, they had fantastic earnings, so we'll see what they can muster up this time. I really don't have much insight into what else to expect in terms of news for the company. It's not one that I follow super closely, but it's definitely been weak in terms of the technicals recently. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to beat, miss? Always love hearing from you. Also, super stoked. I finally got the advanced course out today, so you'll be happy to know. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this, so really appreciate you and all the support and just hanging in there while I get it done. It's $99.99, and there's also another course that this is just the trading and investing kind of beginner one, but you don't have to be like a beginner. Like, you could even be advanced. I go over some pretty novel stuff, right, with regards to crypto and my perspective on how we should set things up. And then this one goes really into like not just how to set yourself up with a few basic things, but this one goes into the advanced parts and more advanced technical analysis. This one does a basic one. And what I like to do in terms of technical analysis, you can check, you can click on this and then just check the curriculum. You can see I put in 100 hours, if not more, into this course. And my goal was to basically take everything that I learned. I used to work for Invesco in 2010. I almost became a financial advisor, and I was like, no, it's too stressful managing my own money, let alone other people's money. And I just didn't think I would enjoy it. So I was glad I decided to, teach people how to manage their own money. And obviously this isn't financial advice, but it's the way what has worked for me and what my interpretation of all of this is. I go over advanced chart patterns, how to set up your charts just like I do, like you always see through these videos, and then the reasons why I do it. And yeah, there's tons of stuff here, from fundamental to technical to different risk diversification, etc. So check out the full curriculum. I know a lot of people were excited for it, so today's the day. I've been working on it for like the last 4 months, and yeah, it's maybe even longer than that, but really hard the last 4 months. So I really can't wait to hear your feedback on it. I worked super hard, and please let me know if you'd enjoy it, if you enjoyed it, and if there's anything you want to see improved. You have ideas of ways that it can be improved, or different subjects for the future, please let me know. All right, it's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. Hope you have a great night, and we'll talk to you again soon.